right, it looks like we are live. And let me make sure my notifications are off. Listen, hello there. Hi. As you come in, let me know you're here and where you're tuning in from, whether you're catching this live or on the replay. This is our daily dose of vitamin D3. I'm going to take you on a walk with me as we are in the middle of the week. This is a wellness and wealth building Wednesday. We combine the two on Wednesdays. Okay, this is a part of our theme every week. And so today we're going to be talking about 10 mindset shifts, or not mindset shifts, but 10 wealth building habits that you might be ignoring and that you need to start doing right now. Because oftentimes, so many times, people think that what is required of them to get to the wealth, to build generational wealth, to as a part of their, creating their legacy, it just requires you to do the strategies, to do the things that keep you in action to get to the big dream or the big goal or whatever your aspirations are. But that couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm going to take you on a walk with me, but I wanted to just kick this off really quickly and allow a few of you to get here. So if you do think that wealth building is all about, let me grab my thing here. If you think wealth building is all about, really the right strategies and the right investment, yes, that is true. You do need strategies. You do need structure, right? You do need systems. You do need people power, human resources. You need all of those things. But before we can get to all of that, we have to think about the other things, the other critical components, the parts and pieces that you're missing that also go with the puzzle to create a full picture. Okay? So let's get into it. And I'm going to take my little handy dandy tripod here with me. I don't have my selfie stick, which is so much lighter than this darn thing. After a while this gets heavy, but it is what it is. And it's a beautiful day, is it not? Can you see those beautiful blue skies? Love it. So to start with, jumping right into the essential yet overlooked wealth building habits, let's start with, let me go back to my notes. I want to make sure I don't miss anything because I said I'm going to be counting off 10 things. Help me keep track, okay, those of you who come in here. But I got my notes here as well so that I'm going to just make sure that we don't miss a beat, okay? So the first thing is spiritual practices, all right? You have got to believe in something higher than yourself. Now, I call that self, that higher spirit, that divine spirit, God. You might call it God as well. You might refer to it as the universe, Buddha, Jehovah, Jah, Allah, all the names, right? But you've got to, in order for you to really be connected to the universe, I know some people look at this from a scientific standpoint, but I look at it from a spiritual standpoint because I believe we are all spiritual beings living out a human experience in a shell of a human body. Okay? I believe that the world we live in is a spiritual world. So, while we're here on this spiritual journey, as far as I'm concerned and based on my beliefs, and I'm not here to impose my beliefs upon you, you believe whatever you choose to, but if you don't believe that there is a higher power that you are actually connected to, and we are one in this universe as a spiritual being is concerned, right? As we are speaking about spirituality, then you're really missing a big part of the puzzle. Because we can't do what we're doing on this earth on our own. We have to do this as we are guided spiritually by a higher power. All things created was created by a higher power. So again, whatever you choose to call that higher power, that higher being, you call it what you will. But that's the first thing we need to get clear on. Okay? So then every single morning, as a result of that, based on my beliefs and my spiritual practices, religiously, I wake up in the morning, I give thanks to God, I pray, I meditate, I count my blessings, I reflect on my life, and I do all the things that make me feel grounded, connected, and that energizes me spiritually, right? Because it's important what I think, how I feel, and that has to be then the first part of my day. Before I do anything else, that's the first thing that I do. Okay? And yes, I do, also do my I am affirmations. I speak to what I'm grateful for, and all of those things are a part of my spiritual practices. Okay? And I do that, again, very consistently, without fail, every single day, like clockwork. Because had it not been for my God, my higher power, my creator, I would not be here. I would not have breath. I would not be alive and well. I would not be here on this live stream giving you value today, right? Now, the second thing is mindful consumption. Okay? What do I mean by that? I mean that we need to feed our mind with knowledge, and we need to nourish our bodies and our souls, right? But that starts with the mind, and what we feed the mind with and what we feed the soul with is just as important as what we put into our bodies. So for me, that looks like doing things that are stimulating to my mind, the things that exercise my mind, like reading and journaling and reflecting, envisioning what my life is going to look like in my near and far future, the legacy that I'm leading and what I'm building, the generational curses I'm breaking, the generational wealth that I'm building, the generational cycle of struggles that I'm breaking, the barriers that I'm breaking, the women that I am called to serve, work that I'm here to do, the mission, the vision, the values that I have, all of those things. And in order to stay in alignment with that, and in order to feed my mind and my soul with more of those kinds of thoughts, then reading is very stimulating. That's something that I do. I'm an avid reader. I read 3 books a month, making my best effort to read 3 books a month. And even if that's just a page or 3 pages or a paragraph, a chapter a day. But I make sure that I am reading a chapter a day at least from 3 different books. Typically self-help books, always working on what I can improve on in different areas of my life, right? I'm working on personal and professional development, so I read those kinds of books, and I read business books. So that's some of what I do. And then I also listen to podcasts. I watch YouTube videos, and I don't mean just any random, just any old thing, right? I mean, again, the things that are going to feed my soul, get me to think differently, shift my mindset as well as my perspective, gives me the opportunity to see from the lens of someone who may have made it to a level of success I aspire to one day achieve, or, just learning what wealthy people do, studying that, right? Because I'm certainly not wealthy. Comfortable, yes. Wealthy, no. But I'm on my way, and as I'm on my way to being wealthy and to building wealth, I have to, just as you should, be doing the things and thinking like wealthy people. Because our wealth starts with a healthy mindset and a wealthy mindset, okay? So those are some of the things that I do. The third thing on my list is physical activity, and as you see, you are on a stroll with me right now. This is a walking Wednesday, and I do this daily. Actually, First thing in the morning, I usually go out for my walk, and my goal every day is to get in 10,000 steps minimum. And I usually start my morning off with at least my first 5,000 steps, maybe 6,000, just depending, how long I walk. And that usually takes me 30 to 45 minutes to get between maybe 6 to 7,500 steps in. And that really is a great way to relieve tension and toxins in our body, to release any stress. Some people think when you go for a walk or do any exercise that's really going to tire you out. And on the contrary, it actually gives you more energy. So I love starting my day that way because it just puts me in a really good mood. It is a mood stabilizer, and it just boosts my energy like you wouldn't believe. And like you wouldn't believe. And so I love it. I start my day that way every single day. But I also get up I work in 90-minute blocks. And so I'm making sure I move my body as often as I can. So that's getting up, stretching, standing from a seated position, taking a walk around my neighborhood, or a midday stroll like this, okay? Or I might just walk around my house a few times. Whatever it takes, I just got to get those steps in. I got to move my body. I got to exercise. I got to do some sort of physical activity, right? So it's things that we know, like I said in the beginning, but oftentimes we overlook and we don't consider these things to be what creates wealth. People, people are thinking like, what's the correlation between the two? Everything, everything. Because without good health, we won't be around long enough to enjoy our wealth, right? So we would have done all of that work, and guess what? You won't be here to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So what did you do all of that for? Because yes, while you want to be building a legacy and leaving that for your family, don't you get to enjoy part of that too while you're here? Right? That's a part of thriving. That's a thriving life. So why wouldn't you make the effort to be here as long as you can and be as healthy as you can? And that starts with a healthy mind and body, as well as a healthy soul, right? So we talked about, so those three things are intertwined. We need to integrate that into our day, okay? These things also enhance our energy levels, which I think I already mentioned, our mental clarity, all that brain fog we have, as well as productivity. It makes us have a more productive day, right? Not just a busy day. We want to get away from being busy. Busy burns us out. I'm talking about a productive day. Okay, I'm going to switch hands for a minute here. Hang on, because this is getting heavy in this hand. So we'll switch gears here just a moment. All right. Now, the next thing is quality of sleep. Now you've heard that, you've got to get a good night's sleep. Typically 8 hours on average a night. And while that is true, and as we get older, you may not require quite that much sleep. You might be able to get away with 7 hours or 6 hours, but I would recommend at least 6. If you can get 8 hours, for sure, definitely do. That might require you to go to bed a little bit earlier so that you can, get to that sleep rhythm that you need to get into, right? That REM sleep, get that deep sleep without any interruptions. And so let me tell you some of the things that I do in order to sleep well. The first thing that I do is I make sure that I'm not doing anything that distracts me at night. The last thing on my mind at night is having anything negative on my mind. So for me, that means see which way you can see me better, this way or this way. I think this way. So for me, that means I'm going to say more affirmations. I'm going to say my mantras, which I do in the morning too. So I end my night the same way I start my day. I do pray again. Sometimes I pray throughout the day. And I talk to God all day throughout the day. But I read, I journal, I listen to positive messages. You know, like you can actually listen to sleep affirmations. And I highly recommend it because then that way you're not looking at TV or listening to, you know, some horrific news. You're not, you know, cluttering your mind and your brain cell space with unnecessary things, unnecessary information. Another thing and another reason why people don't sleep well is because they are worried about the things that are going on in their lives. They're stressed out. So if you were to focus and shift your activities to doing things that are more productive, then you would be better off so that you can get a good night's rest without waking up thinking about those things. And you do that by following some of the things that I'm sharing with you right now. Okay? By the way, if you're getting value from this video and you're loving these episodes, these daily dose of vitamin D3, this is a deeper dive discussion that we're having daily. I am bringing sunshine to your day, which is what vitamin D3 does. And this is a great way to get more of it while I'm out here in the sunshine and letting my skin soak up the sun rays and my cells absorb that. So I'm not going to walk all the way to the end. And I see people kind of hiking this way. So we'll turn around right here and we'll take a different route as we get halfway back down the way we just came. All right. So the next thing on my list, make sure was I done with sleep. Anyways, that's how you maintain your sleep pattern, good sleep hygiene, is to make sure that you keep things off your mind that don't need to be on your mind so that you can rest well, okay? You can even, if you have a way to close up your shades or your blinds or pull the curtains to make it a little extra dark in the room, that's always another, that actually helps you to heal while you're sleeping. It actually helps you to get better rest. You know, that's why some people go to sleep with, you know, the little eye, what do you call those? I actually have one myself, but I don't wear it that often. You know how they say, you know, like be a sleeping beauty, and you have the little eye covers over your eyes. I can't think of the right name, the appropriate name, but you know what I'm talking about. You just put those things on your eye, kind of shield your sight from seeing, you know, you're not able to see any light that comes through. It's just kind of dark. That's why people wear those. So if you have a pair of those even, or if you can pull the shades, like I said, or something like that, then that gives you a way to, you know, make it darker in the room. And believe it or not, when you do get into that deep sleep, your body actually, your cells in your body regenerate and they heal better. Your body heals better. So just a thought. If I can think of, it's kind of bothering me now because I can't think of the right term. I know you know what I'm talking about, but that's just how I am. Once I have something on my mind, it's like right at the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite get what the actual term is or what the thing is called. It's gonna bug me. So, but we're gonna move on. Okay, distraction management. We talked a little bit about that now, right? I alluded to that when we were talking about sleep, some of the things you can do so that you don't feel stressed and so that you don't take up unnecessary space. So distraction management is a real thing. So reducing time on non-productive activities like scrolling through social media, watching the news, looking at politics, right? Allowing that again to clutter your mind with things that doesn't do you any good. It's not helping you reach your goals, right? It's not helping you get any more money in your bank. Your bank account is not any fatter than it was yesterday, right? You don't have any more money in your purse or your pocketbook. So why do we clutter our minds with things that don't result in the wealth that we're building? Why do we engage in activities or participate in anything that doesn't give us anything back? But that's a lot of what people do, is they give their time, they spend their time, they waste their time on activities that are non-productive. So one of the things that I do is I make sure I turn off my phone at least an hour before I go to sleep. Now, my phone is typically on vibrate anyway. When I'm going live or when I'm in meetings or when I'm doing something else that's important, I turn off my notifications and then I turn them on to check messages and all of that, text messages and such. But even when I'm doing revenue generating activities throughout the day, which for me is between 10 and 2, because I give the first few hours of the day to myself and to God, as I mentioned in my daily ritual, right? That's a part of my routine. And then when I start working, I start work not before 9, not a second before 9, but my revenue generating activities typically occur between 10 and 2. And I've talked about that in a separate live stream, so I'm not going to break that down, but those are times where I will disconnect, right? I've done a live stream before where I talked about giving yourself a digital detox, and that's another thing that I do. I make sure that I am constantly looking for ways to improve myself holistically, because that's my jam, right? That's what I'm doing over here. That's the point of my whole channel, is holistic well-being, prioritizing our self-care, our health, our healing, our happiness. And we're doing that while we're building wealth, right? We're doing that while we're building our businesses, which is the one vehicle that we utilize to build wealth and to change our economic status. So if the news is, now I'm not saying you can't, stay in tune with what's going on and, kind of touch base with different things. You can check out, put a time limit on how much you scroll through social media. But why would you be watching reality TV when you're not even dealing with your own reality? You're looking at the reality that's not even real, it's fake as hell, of somebody else's so-called reality. While they're getting paid well, you're sitting there on the sidelines watching their life play out instead of fixing your own and making sure that where you're headed is where it is you really want to be and doing what is required of you to get there. You're watching everybody else on the sidelines on social media, but how is that helping you while you're comparing yourself, having analysis paralysis, right? And doing the comparative thing that's giving you more imposter syndrome and making you feel less than and not worthy of. How is that helping you towards your wealth building goals? You know what I'm saying? How is Netflixing and chilling? Ain't that what y'all call it? Netflix and chill? I don't have TV. I don't subscribe to none of those kinds of subscriptions. So it's not something I'm into. And I'm very focused and very clear on where I'm headed in life and what I want out of life and how I'm going to achieve it. So I'm never looking at anybody else's life, and I'm never comparing myself. I'm not getting stuck on social media for hours at a time. I'm not Netflixing and chilling and Huluing and whatever, all the other subscriptions that are unnecessary. I'm not scrolling for hours on Amazon trying to find something to buy. I'm not trying to fill the void of some sort of emptiness, or which is what people do when they're emotionally drained or when they are feeling empty, feeling some sort of void. They tend to just waste time on unnecessary things. right? I'm not trying to spend money on things I don't need by shopping for things that I don't need, when I'm actually, the whole point of what I'm doing is to build and to create wealth and to make more money, right? Okay, so we talked about morning routine, reflection, and silence. Did I talk about reflection and silence? I think I did. I might have combined that with number one. I don't recall now, but reflection and silence is just really maintaining an attitude of gratitude. I'm going to walk up this hill a little bit because I need just a slight hill. Stop here for a second because it's shady right here. All right. Okay, good. So let me go back. Reflection and silence. So I talked about journaling and also having an attitude of gratitude, making sure that you're grateful for what you already have to achieve or receive more of what it is you desire. Okay, so that's the other thing. If I didn't say that, I talk about that a lot on this channel. That's one of my top core values. And then clarifying your goals and reinforcing that, right? And you can do that through journaling. So I touched on it, but I just wanted to say those couple of things that I think I missed earlier. What else? Okay, I talked about distraction management, not watching TV, scrolling through social media. Now let's talk about diversifying income streams, something that I also talk a lot about here on this channel. So when we are diversifying income streams, we're talking about multiplying our money, the money we've made, the money we're hopefully a good steward of and managing well, and now we've got to multiply it, right? And by multiply it, I mean diversify your bag, okay? That's how we really secure the bag. When you are building wealth, if you are a wealthy person or talk to anyone who is wealthy, as I have on many occasions, because I'm always in the right rooms, okay? I'm surrounding myself by the right people. We're going to talk about that next. Then I make sure that I'm following what they're doing. I'm modeling their behaviors. I'm doing what they're doing in order to get to the point of, where they are, you know what I mean? And then beyond if possible. So when you are thinking about building wealth, you need to be finding someone who can be like, someone that you model their behavior, especially if you aspire to have what they do or live the lifestyle that they live or anywhere similar to that, right? Paint the picture in your mind of whatever that looks like for you, but then make sure that in order to get to the dream, in order for you to get to the place of being a wealthy person, again, surround yourself by those kinds of individuals and do what they're doing, okay? But diversifying your income streams gives you the opportunity. Look, wealthy people are always thinking about ways in which to make more money, smartly, right? Strategically. So they're not working harder to get more money. They're working smarter. They're working more strategic. And by that, I mean, if one income stream stops or slows down or is delayed for some reason, they have multiple others. So I've talked a lot on my channel about the ways that you can actually multiply your income streams or diversify your bag, right? So to really secure the bag, you can go back and watch any of those videos. I'm not going to get into that today because that's not the purpose of this video, but there are lots and lots of ways to diversify your income streams, and you absolutely should, because it is a huge risk to put your money in one basket, or your eggs in one basket rather. If you are not mixing up your bag, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening when any of those bags or income streams take a turn for the worse or is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, right? So you want to always be well prepared, right? I always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So if your only source of income right now is your job or your business, but you didn't branch off in your business and make that business work for you with some of those other ways that you can make money, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So diversify, 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 okay? To give yourself the opportunity to really have security, like for real, not just play, okay? Community and guidance. I can't stress this enough. If you are not around the right people and in the right rooms, if you do not hire a coach or consultant or both, or a business partner or a mentor or somebody who can consistently show you the way, because listen, if you look, there is no shortcut to success necessarily. There is no overnight success. Truth be told, we know that, right? Even though for some people, when you're looking online, those vanity metrics make you think that those individuals got to that place very quickly. In reality, they did not. Okay? In reality, they did not. It took them a while. You just got to understand their backstory. You've got to listen closely and pay attention to the details. If they're honest enough to share with you the truth, you'll find out very quickly that they did not get to where they are today, as successful as they might be, as easy as it might seem to you from the outside looking in. Trust me, everybody has a story. So don't be so quick to judge a book by its cover, because everybody, as my mother always says, has an inside story. What is their story? What is their backstory? What is their truth, right? So yes, some people do make it and have more success faster, sooner than others. But that doesn't mean it still happened overnight, and that doesn't mean it didn't come with, that they were not on their own journey. So on their path to financial freedom and all the other, freedom as a whole, that doesn't mean they didn't do everything it took to get to where they are today. Everybody's journey looks different, but there's a lot of things that many people who are successful share. And some of the things that I find to be maybe some of the biggest commonalities is the fact that there was some sort of struggle, right, before they got to the success. So some people got successful, made it big, lost it all, and had to start from scratch. So I mean, some people in the pursuit of happiness had to sleep in their cars. They were homeless, right? Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry, then there's the Oprah Winfrey stories, or the Lisa Nichols stories, or the Tabitha Brown stories, or the Tamron Hall stories. I mean, I'm going from journalists to iconic figures to household names you know. And if you listen to all of their stories, TD Jakes, whomever you want to name, there is not one person you can name who has made it to a level of success that you aspire to achieve that didn't have it hard in some way. Amy Porterfield, Brene Brown, whomever you want to name, okay? So just know that if you get in front of the right people, if you congregate in the right communities, if you start putting yourself out there and being more visible, if you start connecting and collaborating with the right people who are on the same path, those who are of like minds, you will be better off. If you hire a mentor or a coach, you will be better off, because that is the shortcut to success, if there is such a thing, right? And there is such a thing. Trust me, when I first started my business, for the first 2 years, I refused to hire a coach because I figured everything is Googleable and I can figure it out because I'm educated, okay? I got 3 whole degrees. I've been in corporate at the time for 30 years. I'm a nurse. I got all these accolades. Why would I hire anybody to tell me something I can figure out? And that was my mindset. It wasn't until I shifted that mindset, invested in a coach, and all the couple of years that I struggled in business, the first few years, to be honest, I did not find success to the degree that I did until I hired the right coaches, now multiple. So I have both mentors in my circle, and I have coaches for everything. I have life coaches, business coaches, different aspects of business, because not all coaches are created equal, right? I attend masterminds. I get in the right rooms. I'm rubbing elbows with key players. I'm getting my name out there, my brand, my business. I'm letting people know who I am. I'm being the shero, so to speak, in my community. I'm being loud, right, with doing what I've got to do to meet the right people who's going to help me get to where I need to get to faster. Building relationships is everything. So that's another thing I recommend. Let's see, we're at about 36 minutes. Okay. So we're gonna go the opposite direction now. I'm gonna get to the top of this hill. By the way, if you stay until the end or come back and watch this on the replay, should have said this in the beginning, I'm gonna give you a bonus, another thing you might be overlooking. So, okay, I don't see any questions so far, just a lot of hellos, some trolls, and I'll come back here shortly if I can remember to check the comments or check the chat. But if you have any questions or need any clarification, or you're getting these gems I'm dropping, be sure to drop a gem emoji or a money bag, okay? Gem emoji or a money bag. So, all right, let's turn around. Gonna be easier going down the hill. Let me make sure there aren't any questions. Let me check my other phone too. Hang on. All right. So, let me make sure I've gone over everything that I promised and given you the 10 steps, okay? So we can have them in order. We talked first about spiritual practice. We talked about mindful consumption. We talked about physical activity, that's 3. Quality sleep, that's 4. Distraction management is 5. Morning routine, that's 6. Reflection and silence is 7. Diversifying income streams is 8. Community and guidance is 9. Okay, make sure that you get in the right community for accountability. And gosh, it just takes so much burden off of you. You know, you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. You don't have to work in silos. You don't have to just be, right now, if you're doing that, you are a gem, a hidden gem, and it's time to get your secret out. Let other people know about you. Let other people experience you. When you are in the room with other people, it just is so much to be said about that. I know that we do things online a lot now, and that's great. I'm all for it because I am a 100% virtual, business. However, it's not the same as getting in the room with people. The energy is electrifying when you are in the room with other people who are on the same path or a similar path as you are. They will lift you up. They will make you feel empowered. They will share with you things that you don't know right now, questions you don't even know that you should be asking. They will put you on game in so many ways. They will introduce you to people in their network. There's so many reasons why you should be in the room with other individuals like yourself. Now, when you start to collaborate with people, make sure that you are collaborating with the right people. Because sometimes what ends up happening is you end up thinking that, something sounds like a great opportunity. At first glance, it may seem that way. When you dig a little deeper and get to know that individual better, as you start to see the way they think and work and what they have going on and what their activities are and what their behavior's like, and just little tidbits of information they give and say and how they present themselves, how they show up, how they, how they approach you, if they're approachable, whatever it might be. Like if you just fully sit back, relax, and observe people, I'm telling you, you will know very quickly if they are in alignment with you and your goals and your core values. And if they're not, run the other way, okay? But most times you will find that people really are on the same page, and you just need to find, the right people to pair with, and kind of get a better understanding of how they work and who they are and what their belief system is like and what their core values are. And as long as you're clear on what your core values are and what your goals are, and you let that drive you, you'll never make the wrong decision. Take risk, right? That's another thing, calculated risk. That's another thing that wealthy people do, is they take calculated risks, and they also are not afraid to invest in themselves. So yes, hire yourself a coach, a mentor, get around the right people, get in the right rooms, and that's a great way to start building relationships, get known, get seen, be heard, all the things, and do what's necessary to get you to your next, not just next level, but your heightened level, okay? Like your next best level, right? So, and then your bonus, as promised. This is so obvious, but it might not seem so obvious. And that is being positive and never giving up. I really want to reinforce that because the importance of being positive, having a positive outlook really allows you to persevere, to stay determined, to be mindful all of the time, right? When you're thinking about how you're going to achieve your goals, being positive, no matter what goes down, having an optimistic outlook, no matter how things play out, even when you're like, man, I thought it was going to be so much different. I thought by now I was going to feel different. I thought by now I anticipated my life looking so much better than where I am right now. Like I've been doing all the things. I've been working smarter, not harder. I've been more strategic. I'm getting in the right rooms. I'm being around the right people. I'm working, I'm building, I'm going, I'm doing. You might be saying all of that, but the reality is sometimes it's not even any of those things you're doing wrong per se, but what you might not be doing right or could be doing better or may need to improve in this area is your thought process, your positive outlook. The fact that maybe you're down about things all the time. Maybe as soon as something goes wrong, you're negative about it. Maybe maybe you don't say it out of your mouth loudly for everyone to hear, but maybe in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, you're feeling that way. If any part of what you say out of your mouth, the words you speak out of your mouth, versus what you think in your mind, what you feel in your heart and in your soul, in your spirit, if you are allowing these things that are not going according to your plans in the time frame you thought they would, if you're allowing that to wear on your spirit and wear you down and beat you down, and that's what you're really thinking and feeling, you'd be surprised. Even though you're not speaking that out loud, it is still enough that you're saying to yourself inside of your own mind, okay, where you are allowing that to consume you. To the degree that maybe you're not performing the way you would be performing if you were to have a positive mindset and a positive outlook, right? And if you shift your mindset to understand that things are going to happen, again, going back to that higher power, which is where we started, things are going to happen when he says, right? Because our timeline does not match God's deadline, or our deadline does not match God's timeline. Excuse me. Oh, that wasn't probably, sorry if I coughed in your ear because I realized that's the side my mic is on. I meant to do it on the other side, so my apologies if that was loud. So anyways, you feel what I'm saying, but I'm on a nice stroll right now. God, I tell you, this is like heaven to me. This is one of the best times of my day. I love being out in the sun. I love taking a nice walk, a nice stroll. I love having these kind of conversations. I love adding value to people's lives. This is how transformation starts, when you have the right information and you actually do something with it. So if you haven't yet, I would definitely say, take heed, take notes. Hopefully you've taken some good copious notes here, be it mentally or you wrote them down. I would say, write it down and make it plain, right? And if you put all of these things into action, if you do these things, if you integrate these habits into your day, I love when birds are chirping. They sound so pretty. I've loved birds chirping ever since I was a young girl. So this just look like they're having so much fun. They're so free as they're playing and flying around and all the different sounds they make. But anyways, integrate this into your day, and this is how you are going to be holistically well and holistically wealthy. Okay, your health is your wealth. Don't forget that. Get your steps in today. drink lots of water and stay hydrated like I need to do. And be sure that you are staying tuned and in touch with my content. I'm live every day, Monday through Friday. I don't have a specific time because it just really depends on what I have going on for the day. So I never promise that I will be on at a particular time, but you can always watch the replay. Just know that every day, Monday through Friday, I'm here. Subscribe to my channel, share this video out with others if you are getting value, okay? Other people need to hear these messages as well. Like I said, these are things you need to start right now. You can literally start immediately as soon as we are off of this live stream. These are things that are applicable to you right now. They are practical tips. This is a real, real true guideline here for you to follow. And if you start doing these things each and every day, you'd be surprised of the beauty, that comes your way, the beautiful life that you are creating by doing that. The wealthy comes from within. Right? And these things that you're doing as far as your mindset and your spiritual practices and physical activities and sleeping well and all of that. No, they're not the strategies. No, we're not talking about systems and hiring folks, okay? Right now in this video anyway. But these are things, true habits, that if you were to speak with any wealthy individual, and again, I have spoken with plenty, trust and believe, I am promising you that these are the things that have put me well on my way to building the kind of wealth that I am wanting to build for myself and my family. And I am putting this into practice every single day, as should you. Okay? So let me make sure there was nothing else. I gave you your bonus tip. And that's it. Just let me know in the comments, which of these wealth building activities you're going to start, that you've already been practicing or that you believe in and you're doing right now, or which of these tips really sat with you today, like really made you have an aha moment or think about things differently. Let me know. All right, so I'm going to continue my walk for about 10-15 more minutes. I think we're close to an hour. I wanted to do an hour walk, so anywho-ha, I'm going to definitely get my steps in today. And I tune out. Be sure to tune in and share this video out with at least 3 friends, okay? As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.